We're going to call this meeting to order this evening at 5 o'clock here at Moorefield Middle School. Welcome, everyone. It's always glad to look out and see you. Okay, Sheena, you want to open us with prayer, please?
Sure. Let's bow our heads. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this time together this evening. We ask that you give us wisdom and discernment in the decisions that are made here, that will do what's in the best interest of our students, staff, and families. We ask for your guidance in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Good.
Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, next we'll continue with introductions. Mr. Howard, if you'll start, and we'll just weave around the tables here. Okay.
Scott Sullivan,
Emily Warren,
and Jeff Allred, ESG.
Sarah Earl,
William Helsinger with ESG.
Margaret Blacko at ESG.
David Bruno with ESG. Jay Lockhart, ESG.
Sheena Van Meter.
Sean Collars.
Janet Rose,
Roy Harper.
Jennifer Schauderman.
Dixie Dean.
Melvin Shook.
Okay. Thank you all. All right, first on the list is a presentation from ESG, Audra Blackwood.
That's quick. Good evening. That's the evening already. For a short day, it's gone by so fast. So, just want to thank everybody for this opportunity. Is this an okay place for me to stand?
Yeah.
Is that what I usually do?
Yep.
Okay. I want to thank you all for this opportunity again to speak to the board. And I want to thank you all for everything that you're doing for Hardin County Board of Education and the students and families here in your county. I've been up here many times since July. It's a beautiful drive and a beautiful country up here, and I really enjoy it. And I also want to thank Dr. Van Meter, Josh C., Sarah Earl, and Warren Staggers for all the work that they've done as a partner with us on this project to keep us on our timeline, and all the work that they put into this project as well. So thank you to everybody for all that you've done up to this point. So we're going to go over an agenda. I know I was planning on introducing the folks from ESG here this evening. They've already introduced themselves, but William is our senior performance engineer. Jeff is our project manager. He would manage the construction of the project for you. And our two solar experts over here, David Bruno and Jay Lockhart. So if you have any questions regarding any of those, anything that we're talking about this evening, please stop me at any time to ask for a question. So we're going to jump right in and talk to you about your project, because Sheena said that was probably the best thing to do, since she had already talked about ESG last week and that kind of thing. But if there's anything you want to know, please just ask. We're also going to talk about the contract and project financing, the benefits of doing a project like this, and the schedule. So, as you've seen before, this project will have what's called energy conservation measures. We call them ECMs, that's our lingo. Those are the improvements to your schools that generate savings for your project to help pay for the needs in your county. The highest priority needs that we've identified in the county, working with the staff, is the HVAC project at Moorefield Elementary. It's your number one project on your 10-year CEFP, 10-year Comprehensive Education Facilities Plan. So that will be addressed through this project. Also, the East Hardy Elementary School emergency generator, that will be hooked to the freezers and coolers to keep you all from losing food when the power goes down. So we'll keep the power on there. And the solar investment tax credits. That's why you started this whole entire process in the very beginning. Right now is a great time to take an opportunity of these tax credits. And so there will be some solar that's addressed through this project. So you can see right here, we have East Hardy Elementary, and a picture of East Hardy and Moorefield Elementary. You've seen this next picture before. These are solar canopies that we have done in New York, at Kings Park, New York. This is a school district who has actually received their tax credit. So that was something Sarah was very concerned about, just making sure somebody's actually received a tax credit. Well, this is a school district where we've done canopies, just like we would be doing here, and they've received a tax credit. So it's very important.
Is it paid in a lump sum or over payments?
They received one check, a lump sum. So you may have seen this before as well. These are the ground mount solar panels at East Hardy Elementary. And these three balls over here to the left are the trees. So this would be on the ground there. But I have a better picture because I know you had some questions on October 6th. And that was, what does that land look like? Well, it's on an angle, you know, the hill's on an angle. And it's my understanding that that land isn't usable. So it would be perfect for this solar project. Also, we maximize the solar benefit because this is your highest rate that you're paying. This is going to be the biggest payback for your solar project. So East Hardy Elementary is a great project for solar. The next one is Moorefield Middle. There will be 2 walkways that are going to be built. You don't have those currently. You were thinking about building those anyway, so that's part of the cost. And then you've got the solar canopies on Moorefield Middle School. That'll be very nice for the students. They'll be covered when they get off the bus and that kind of thing. Won't have to walk in the rain, that kind of thing. So Moorefield Elementary, I know this is something that you guys have been wanting for some time now, is a walkway from the elementary school to your auxiliary gym. And that is a new walkway that will be built as well, and also have the solar canopy put on top of that walkway. And that's something you were going to do anyway. So part of that cost, part of that money you were going to spend anyway. So that's what's included in the solar project. From the last project we had, Moorefield Intermediate in there, and the team decided to take that out because it didn't have as much bang for the buck as these 3 projects. So this is what's included in the solar. So if you look at it, this spreadsheet right here will show you what kilowatt hours are generated, because I listened to your last meeting and that was one of your questions.
Mhm.
So this shows you what is actually being generated by these projects. And these are higher numbers than I reported, because what I reported was an estimate from my September 2nd presentation to you guys, when we were really just estimating, just starting to look at those projects. So these are the actual numbers now. Okay, so you can also see the cost of the project is around $2.8 million. This is included in the overall performance contracting energy savings project, but I just pulled the solar out so you could see the bottom line cost of it. The investment tax credit, what we call the ITC, is $956,907. It went down a little bit from the last meeting. It was like $1 million, but we took Moorefield Intermediate out, so that dropped a little bit. And then the total savings there is over $872,000. So the bottom line cost for your almost $2.8 billion solar project is about $984,000, a little more than $984,000. So that gives you the overall bottom line cost and the solar that will be produced by those solar projects. Next, this is just a table format of the project, so you can look at the project just at one glance. So this really tells you what are the energy conservation measures that are going to contribute savings to the project. Okay, that's what this is here. This right here. And these, you got L for lighting, BE for building envelope, and WC for water conservation. And then we're doing water meter resizing at Moorefield Intermediate and Moorefield Middle School. And those other, you'll just get lighting at the board office and at the maintenance and transportation building, because those energy conservation measures didn't pay back within the 15-year term, so we didn't put them in there. That's how we look at this. Does it really pay back to make sense for the project? So that's why those energy conservation measures or improvements are included. And then over your project scope, those are your high priority needs that you have in the county. So that's just another way of looking at it. You've got your emergency generator at East Hardy, ground mount solar, East Hardy Elementary. And, the new covered walkway with solar canopy and the HVAC project at Moorefield Elementary. And then the new covered walkways with solar canopies at Moorefield Middle School. It's just a snapshot,
Oh, Joe, I have a question.
okay?
That water meter resizing, have you all checked with the Hardin County Public Service District that supplies that water? Is that okay?
We did actually, yeah, we called them up to get the exact meter that we would need to use to replace it, so we've already coordinated that.
Okay, thank you.
What is the building envelope? What's that consist of? What's that mean?
I'm gonna let William.
So a lot of that is, think, on a door, the sweep at the bottom, either installing those or replacing them if they're not in good shape. We call them astragals that are around the sides of the doors, walking around windows if it's needed, and then kind of in the guts of the building, kind of up above the drop ceilings, where the roof meets the wall. A lot of times there's a lot of cracks in that, and air just pours in through it. You have cold air in the winter, warm air in the summer, so we seal all that out to basically reduce the amount of air that you don't want flowing into the building.
Okay, so this is the overall project with everything included that was just in that snapshot. The total project cost is $6.675 million. The total investment tax credit is just the same as what I showed you before, $956,907. And the annual loan payment is $531,738. The total loan payments over the 15-year term added together is the $7.9 million number, and the M&V cost, that's measurement and verification. That's how we measure and verify the savings back to the county. That's $52,000. We have that in there for 3 years. So if that's something that the county wants to continue on, they can continue on. If it's something you want to stop, you can. But if you stop your measurement and verification services, that means your guarantee is satisfied. Most of our customers will see that they have seen the savings in the reports, that that's already being achieved. And then they say, well, we don't need another report to tell us that. We know it's out there. But whatever, it's up to you, what you want to do. So we have it in there for 3 years right now. The total project savings is, you can see, over $4.7 million. And so the bottom line project cost is $3.28 million. So this is a snapshot of how much the project will cost you over the 15-year term. You guys have any questions? I just want to make sure you know these are just numbers here, and these three actually add up to that 3.2, because that 4.7 is negative. I just want to let you guys know. Okay, so the ESG contract and project financing, you guys have a copy of the contract as far as I understand, and the contract itself specifies the scope of work and the project cost, and it gives a total guarantee of savings in the contract and a savings verification procedure. And it has price certainty, which we're going to guarantee it's not going to cost you anymore. Scope certainty, which you're going to be sure you're getting what you're paying for. And then a guarantee of no change orders. So if we miss something, for example, we missed a wing of lighting or something in our, in our audit, we'll end up being the ones paying for it. We're not going to come back and ask you for more money.
How many panels of those would be on the hillside there, you started on, or elementary school, approximately?
Do you guys remember the number of panels?
It's 800.
800 panels on that hill.
I can get you exact numbers. I can get you exact numbers, though. So
Towards the back, like where the playground's here, and then the road goes up and around. It's over there on the back, or kind of out of the way.
Okay, so the financing, we've already been over this, but I just want to go over it again just so everybody was aware. It's not a profit center for ESG. We don't make money on financing. We have solicited for financing proposals for tax exempt lease financing, and we're working to get the lowest cost of money on behalf of Hardin County Board of Education. And it's a separate agreement from the performance contracting agreement that you are considering this evening. Also, since the project's over $5 million, you have to secure bond counsel, and the county has already found bond counsel for that financing to be reviewed. So you'll have an attorney that will be looking over that.
approximately how much does one of those panels cost?
One of those panels about, if you were to buy it, about $400, roughly $400 to $500 per panel.
They're bigger than I thought they were.
That's what I said.
I had no idea they were that large. I mean, you see them from the road and you never realize.
Too far
how big
away,
they are,
yeah.
you know? But anyway, so doing a project like this brings many benefits to your school system and your county. The one is that you're already spending your money on your utility bills, and you're taking that money and paying it towards your project. You're spending it on yourself instead of just sending it to the utility company. And it's guaranteed back to you. The other thing is it reduces your capital burden and your maintenance burden. So, you're not gonna be spending more money maintaining Moorefield Elementary rooftop units, for example. You're gonna get new ones, so there's gonna be less maintenance there. ESG will assume full responsibility for the project. We'll take that off your shoulders. It's turnkey. We're gonna handle the subcontractors. We're gonna handle the whole entire project from beginning to end. And it's gonna be the best possible comprehensive energy savings project in the state of West Virginia. That's been our goal, right? Dr. Van Meter?
That's the goal.
We've been working on that since July. So, we're also gonna be able to increase the building life expectancy through these projects and improve the learning environment. And your students and staff will be able to get the benefit now. I say now, but as soon as it's constructed, as soon as we start construction, the students are going to see, the rooms are brighter, the lights are better, they're gonna be more comfortable and that kind of thing. You're not having to wait to get these improvements for your county, and the students are able to get those benefits and the staff now.
How are those things anchored to the ground? The panel?
How do they, for the ground mount, there's a ground mount racking system, a custom system that holds the modules in place for, to keep it from lifting up. It goes so deep into the ground and it's fixed tilt. Made of steel.
What happens with the grass under those panels? How is it maintained? Is there room to mow? Do we still have to mow under those? Do
Yeah.
we turn a herd of sheep loose?
Not by goat.
Okay, I'm
Goats will jump on top.
All jokes
The
aside,
goats will jump
sheeper.
on
And
top.
it
But
does have to be maintained. Don't let Jay.
yes,
You
ma'am.
want to-
It'll be high enough that you can still mow and weed eat underneath it. Yes, ma'am.
They rotate with the sun.
These one, no, these are, this particular one's a fixed tilt. Yes, sir. So you'll still be able to mow and weed eat underneath it.
Okay.
On a tractor mower, push mower?
Push mower, yeah. You
We'll
can get a
have
tractor,
to tell
so
our
you can get a
people
tractor, you can get a tractor just because of the way they lay on that hill. It's it'd be difficult to get a tractor underneath them.
Probably the roll bar on them.
Yeah.
would Catch.
Yeah.
Spray.
Do you
How-
mat it and gravel?
A little policeman.
On that hillside, I mean, that's something we can look into, for sure. I've done that on
That
some
would be better.
projects.
I've seen that.
Yeah,
Mat it and gravel it would be better.
We can do gravel. For maintenance.
Mhm.
Yeah, go in there after they're spray it, put 57 or large stone underneath it. We've done that
I
before.
was thinking trying to get some.
Especially if it's steep
Mhm.
topography.
Mhm.
and-
Yeah, that's true. That's a good
That
point.
sounds
That would make.
like a good idea.
Yeah.
What she said, that way you would work those way.
Pretty strong.
Okay, would that be included as would you take care of that or would we pay for that?
He's nodding
Having it-
his head yes.
I'm looking at Audra, yeah, so,
Jeff's the project manager, so I would say something. Go ahead.
Because when we go in there and tear up the footing and stuff, maybe not as easy to address it, we'll look into it. I really don't know yet until we look into how much damage they do putting the footings in, how much dirt they have to clean up, so, if I can address it back up and stuff, probably wouldn't be negligible, I don't think. We'll definitely check into it.
I couldn't hear you. Dix couldn't
That's
hear you.
okay. I'm a little hard of hearing, but
He's
that's
gonna look
where
into it
it's
and let us
covered.
know
Okay.
as far as
I
that
would love to
piece.
see how much disturbance, earth we disturb, soil we disturb, sod, and then we can tell if it's, you know, if we've got to get some backup stuff too, it may not be that much expense to put stone down. We want to look into it, it's not part of the cost right now, but it may be something we can go.
Thank you, that'd be good.
Thank you.
Yeah, and what he said was, it may be something we can absorb, so let's hope we can, right? Okay,
Yes.
that, he didn't say we could, but you know, we will do our best to do that, okay? And I can't really give you the final answer, but for tonight's purposes, let's say we're gonna work to absorb it, okay? All right, so here's the anticipated schedule for 2025. I've got a lot of check marks here because we've done a lot of work. And we've tried to stay with the schedule this whole time, and tonight, I'm not gonna go over everything that we've done, but tonight, you know, the board is considering the contract for the energy savings performance contracting project. And, once that's done, the next thing will be the financing proposals, once they come in, and the financing resolution. So we have put on our schedule for November 3rd and 17th, those board meetings. And we're hoping to stick to that schedule as closely as we can, because, we're hoping to also close on the financing December the 1st. That's what's planned through the Director of Finance. I did talk with him. And that will help us get to construction by December for the solar, because we are trying to meet the deadline before the end of the year so that we can meet the domestic content requirements and the foreign entities of concern requirements, because all that changes in 2026, which makes everything more expensive. That's the goal. So, okay, so then start construction December 15th. Okay, so basically that's it for the anticipated schedule. And then construction, what happens once all this stuff is approved and we go to construction? Basically what we normally do is we work with the county to outline the construction schedule to make sure that that meets their needs, you know, working with the staff, make sure we're not going to interrupt the education process. Also, we'll do a kickoff meeting so that we can make sure we've got everything lined out. And Jeff will be in charge of the construction, like we said, so we'll coordinate that schedule with you. But most of the work will be done in nights and on holidays. So it won't just disrupt the school system. You know, they'll come in the next morning and say, wow, you know, this room looks a little bit brighter, you know, something's different. But it'll be cleaned up, and they won't know that, you know, there's been contractors that are working the night before. And then we've scheduled here, and this is all subject to, you know, the staff saying, you know, this is good with them, but this is kind of a anticipated plan for submitting submittals for review to Josh, and also starting construction on most of those energy savings measures, so you start saving money as soon as possible. So you start gathering up that cash to start gathering that so that you'll be able to make the first payments on the loan and that kind of thing. And then the HVAC project, we put in here June of 2026. If there's any way that we can start it over Easter break, we'll work that out with the staff as well. So do you think that's okay, Vern? Did I do what I need to do for you? I just want to make sure.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, and that's it for me.
You
Now,
wanna
if you
get
guys have any
comments?
questions, I'm ready.
What if, of course, you know that we're kind of in a 911 situation at Moorefield Elementary School with those units. And there's one that's gone down that we've had to replace or in the. has it
Process
been
of
replaced yet?
it has not been
Right,
replaced yet.
Arrived
No,
yet.
right.
But what if another one goes down? Would we have to replace it if it doesn't meet your timeline, or what?
No, we can, you know, if we can get those units at all, and right now they're telling me that they're possibly a fairly quick turnaround, but no, we would definitely help you out and get that done, because it would be awesome if you had to buy another one and have one come, so. We do everything we could to possibly get that changed out ourselves,
Okay,
even if it was just a one.
well, good, that makes us feel good.
Yeah, that's helpful.
Or the other thing we do too, though, is if we can't get the unit, we'll send specialists out there, HVAC guys, and repair and get it going until we can.
Get it limping.
Yeah. So
Yeah, that's good.
So once we get under contract, we
That's
won't have to worry about those.
Okay. That makes me feel much better because, you know, I see that June 2026, and though it's not that far away, it's still a bit scary because they can start, you know, they get a big cold spell and stuff starts busting.
Well, Jeff's been in this business for years, and he's managed millions of dollars worth of things, and he actually used to be a maintenance director for a school system, so he knows how to get these things working too, so.
We're always telling us, I'm not sympathetic, I'm empathetic.
Yeah.
I live it.
Here's the difference.
That's all I have. If you guys have any questions, any more questions?
Sarah, do you have anything you wanted to talk about financing at all, or does anyone else? We did need to talk. I know before I had told them, I think when I was presenting, that it was a 12-month, just 16-month guarantee on the construction beginning and ending. And I think that's not part of the contract. However, it's one of those things that once we set you want to explain how that works? Once you set the
Basically,
timeline for construction?
Basically, what we're gonna do is we're going to commit to finishing in 12 months or sooner, okay? Because Jeff, he's already got his schedule lined out. But, you know, we wanted to give ourselves 16 months just in case some manufacturer's thing came up. Or, you know, something unforeseen, like, hate to say, COVID, you know.
Right.
But, you know, we need to give ourselves some time, you know, and that is only for unforeseen things, right, Jeff?
Yeah, I'm not telling you right now, but we've been talking to all the subs, lighting and solar, and all these people, and we're already got pretty good schedules together, we think we can meet.
Okay.
And we think, worst case scenario with the HVAC not starting in summer, we still think we can have everything done by the end of the summer.
Okay. I just wanted to clarify that because I knew there was some questions about, it wasn't in the contract itself,
Correct.
but that it's established as an addendum once the construction timeline is set based upon the financing and all those things, I think is that correct, Doran? Am I saying that right? Okay. All right.
Now, how about, and I asked this because we had litigation on the school project here. How about the stuff that's removed and the debris removal? Are you all responsible for that, or are we?
We are responsible for that, and we have EPA guidelines we have to follow, so we have to get rid of the freon properly. All the lamps, I think technically they probably still have some traces of mercury in them, there's proper procedure to get rid of those, and all that will be documented. So if we can get rid of all of it, if there's anything you want, I was telling Josh, just like, sometimes we get clean freon, and they want it for something. And if it's usable, they can have it if they want it. An old motor, one thing we are going to salvage, we talked about, there's some controls in the old units that are not too old, still usable, they're probably 5 or 6 years old. We're going to salvage all those for you, and Josh will have that stock for other buildings and everything. So, we'll work with Josh, and he can have what he needs, that we'll get rid of and take it to recycling and wherever it properly goes.
Which is good because then we don't have to fool with all of that piece of it. But if it is something we need, we can hold on to it for future use.
That's good.
Anything you want, you can have, but we do take
She'll haul it all
responsibility.
off and everything. All right.
And I think it's that is in the contract. Yes, Lauren?
It is.
Yeah.
The generator that you were talking about, are you replacing the generator that's there, or are you just hooking that up to? Isn't there a generator restarting on in the middle?
Yes.
We are replacing it and in that process tying it into the
Okay.
refrigeration systems.
I think they've been having
It was
problems
old.
with that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have.
That's what kind of started, they had problems with one that's there, and then so we're on. And right now, I think the cooling tower, I think there was a fire pump that was on that old one,
Mhm.
and they were basically tightening it back in, but we're adding the freezer cooler.
Is it natural gas, propane, diesel?
It'll be a diesel generator, just like these existing ones.
Wonder what the old one is.
It's diesel.
It's diesel, okay, so there's a tank there then that would
Usually they,
hopefully be adequate.
it sits right on top of its own tank, essentially, it's all integrated, it's not like this external tank sitting on it.
Any questions about the solar panel that they brought for us to look at? Anything we need to know? Want to give a little science project presentation on this?
I think we could charge our phones.
Yeah, that's.
Is there any recurring maintenance on those? How does that, annual maintenance has to be performed in that, or?
No, not really. We have it situated in the system for, in this project for the inverters to be replaced after a period of time. The modules, unless they get really, really dirty with the weather around here, we don't really have that problem. So there's not very much maintenance that has to be done on this.
The life expectancy is what?
So the life expectancy of the modules is 25 years. The project's 15, and then the inverters are situated for 20. So your system. Yep.
And you said, somebody told me they continue to function at 80%. I think that was you. After the 25 years, they'll still work, but work at 80% capacity. So you're still at that point still.
The warranty covers it for 25 and for 20, and then you still have life expectancy. I have systems that have been around for 30 years. Right now.
We'll leave those really good notes for all of us that won't be here in 20 to 25 years to think about it, but we'll make sure we leave good notes. Yeah, I'll shoot.
So negative. You don't know. I have a question, and I'm not sure how to ask it, so bear with me. The building envelope. How do you know how much that's going to cost to take care of it? Have you been through all the buildings to know what's needed in each building?
We did a comprehensive audit of each building. We sent the team in to specifically look at those items and come up with a list of what needs to be done at each individual school based on those existing conditions. I'm not sure.
That's enough, you say yes, you're going to the building.
Yes, we do.
That basically was my question, how did you know, how do you know? Unless you have done that, then you have done that, so thank you.
They've been here and in and out of all of our buildings a lot, like a whole lot.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
obviously, not
Yeah.
here to see that and see.
You
that,
wouldn't know,
Yeah.
but they have. They've been.
And that was a concern, how do you know? But you know.
And there's line by line, items in the contract as attachments that line everything out that's gonna be done.
Okay.
It's very big.
I saw you printed all that off. Yeah, there's a lot.
Reading, I can tell you that.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
Instead of,
Now, I understand
My
you're
Bible
replacing all the
forbid
lights in all the
that I
buildings,
watch.
correct? And all the water controls in all the buildings. The only building that's getting HVAC is Moorefield Elementary at this time.
Correct.
No other controls on any of their HVA equipment or anything? or-
The rooftop units will have controls, right, Jim?
The new ones, none of the old existing in the other buildings, none of the,
Yeah.
that's the only building that gets any.
That's what Tom said, it's not included in, but if he wants to adjust some, we can help him maybe adjust some sequence of operation to help him save money.
Okay.
So we'll be here a lot working with those guys. It will help some of that too. And it's not really part of it, but it's just, we try to do a little extra here and there when we can. since we're here.
The two, we have automatic systems, and so the two aren't, they'll blend some, but probably not perfectly.
Yeah, they'll be tied into his existing system, same brand, same manufacturer.
Okay,
The
good.
train units, which is kind of fairly standardized around Mountain County, you have a few different others. And it helps to have train controls and train units because they're compatible. In fact, the factory will install the controller for us, and then the controls guys will come in and wire it up and program it. And we'll do the guys that do start on the units are manufacturer certified, they have to have been trained to start these units up, so they'll go through, check amperages, check freon, check, every working situation, dampers, and then we'll verify that time
Sounds good.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's
Thanks, Audra.
exciting.
It is exciting.
And donuts.
Janet can be bought. She with really good donuts.
There is a door over here, right, that they can.
He's concerned about how far you had to walk. If you want to pull up to this corner door here, make sure you get out of here safe.
Jessica carries one of those around with her all the time anyway.
Just keeps it in the car,
Stays in that truck.
just in case. And we have that contract further down on the list to approve. So you're welcome to stay or you can go, but the approval's a little farther down, I think, on the agenda. Thanks.
2 men have been taken to shock trauma. An explosion in Hagerstown. Yeah, a concrete plant. Okay, so let me find the agenda. So next, on the agenda is our Assistant Superintendent Jennifer Starman with the pre-K updates.
Yes, get a pre-K update, and I will say that the pre-K update, while not less important, will definitely be less complicated than the last presentation. I can promise you that here, Mr. Shutter.
Sounds like you're getting everything worked out.
It is getting worked out, and what you have here tonight, I mean, we can walk through, and I will walk through and talk through it with you, but it is, this is a general overview of everything related to preschool. That was up on the website as well, to have a one-stop shop to answer questions from parents. So for program overview of preschool, the big thing is, and people want to argue this every year, they have to be 4 by 8 by July 1. They can get into preschool sooner if you're 3 and have an IEP. Beth works with that. Another big thing that I know you've heard us talk about different times is the whole universal portion of this, and part of this, we share resources with our Head Start office here. So we have 2 classes at Head Start, we have 2 classes at Easter Party, and we have 3 classes this year at Moorefield. And the fact that we share the community link has us do the application process, which I think is next on this review. We currently use a paper process. We're working to revise the paper process to make it more streamlined and to cover all these parts and pieces that are here. We start looking for enrollment in January. And I know that personnel always wants to know, how many people are in preschool? Would that be great if everyone enrolled on time? But they don't. They'll still be enrolling and forget about it until school starts. So we'll start in January. We do a priority deadline on May 5th. That means if you have everything in, complete, you get a spot in preschool first where you want it because you've got everything in. That's the point of the priority deadline. We follow an attendance rule with our we provide transportation as a county. It's not a required thing, but we do. The teachers work diligently with family engagement. And on that note, the new curriculum that they adopted this year, with creative curriculum, includes the Ready Rosie portion of that, which is totally parent communication and family engagement based. Meals are served family style. Students are screened for speech and hearing. You have to get the dental checks. They have to do the medical checks, and the documentation has to be provided before they can start. And then there's continuous assessment as the students go throughout the year. The teachers have to do the early learning rating scale of the kids. Tons of formative assessments. They're observed for class through our Head Start partner, which is they're looking for all the engagement portions, pieces, the questioning, the no worksheets, the hands-on, comfortable setting and safe and secure. And then you hear, we also have to do all the walkthroughs and meet all the deadlines for safety and security. Preschool is its own little federal program piece. It has all sorts of requirements, and we do meet them every year. And you see the 3 people here to contact. It's me, but the next person is Pam Swick, and I will say Pam Swick did not exist, and I hope she's listening to the board meeting, although no, she's not. If Pam Swick did not exist, there would be holes in preschool, Hardin County Schools. Pam does an amazing job. I always give her a plug at all the preschool meetings that we do because she takes care of so much preschool for her schools. And then Debbie Lemons is the outreach because she does all the registration through the community portion. And I'll also say preschool, last time, Warren let me know after the meeting that I gave it the example of like preschool teachers or cowboys breaking in the new horses coming in, because it might have been a bad example, but they do that. Those preschool teachers work their butts off. They get kids from so many different home environments and have to wrangle them in and try to do all sorts of skills.
If my religion prohibits me from taking immunizations, can I get in?
No, you may not get in currently.
There's a lot of litigation ongoing with that right now.
I'm just saying to see.
There's a pending case in Raleigh County that the circuit judge there has just certified it as a class action and essentially invited anybody across the state that's filed a claim to be part of that class action. And he's claiming that he has the authority to essentially make a ruling that is binding across the state. However, today, actually, a Kanawha County circuit judge dismissed the case with prejudice, meaning it can't be brought back on. There was a religious exemption claim as well. So the law is very clear at this stage, and thankfully the State Department of Education has adopted that we follow the law. So there is no such thing in the state of West Virginia as a religious exemption.
I was gonna say, someone's gonna hit them up with that.
And
No, they are. We've had it.
What we have, and even closer to home, is that in Mineral County, circuit judge Cody Pancake had dismissed a case with prejudice that was a religious exemption claim. So I'm monitoring that pretty closely around the state. The Supreme Court will get it at some point, and we'll have a better answer to that. I think before that happens, though, once our legislature meets in the spring, then I think that it'll be high up on their agenda to consider again. But hoping to make their decision.
In North Carolina, there's been an outbreak of measles at a school where 30 children have measles and are out of the school, so.
Wow.
Well, I'll say the preschool teachers do an amazing job. They are going through professional development sessions as the school year goes on. They're working on the early childhood positive behavior intervention supports, coaching sessions, and the virtual academy. I'm going through it with them because, well, it's good stuff. I'm just trying to help the teachers who have a big job on their hands. It's not all fun and games, trust me, it is structured play. I could not do what they do in a million years. They're very gifted at what they do with the kids.
I have a question.
Uh-huh.
How does a 3.5-year-old child get an IEP?
I am not the best person to answer that, but I will give you what I've observed. Developmental delays, speech,
Birth to 3 works with them. So if a kid is getting birth to 3 services, the birth to 3 coordinator that goes into the home sees that child and recommends them to be evaluated. And then around their 3rd birthday, they send them to us, and then we evaluate and determine if they're qualified.
So how do we get in contact? How do we know about the birth to 3?
They send them to us directly. Birth to 3 folks directly refer them. Birth to 3. The Birth to 3 organization. That's what they're called. They're literally called Birth to 3. That's okay. Yeah.
They work closely with the special education department when there's a student who's coming up who's about to exit birth to 3.
Mhm.
They schedule a meeting, and our special education department works with them, and they do.
We do evaluations.
Meeting evaluation and determine continued eligibility.
Diane Miller is one of them. Remember Diane Miller, the occupational therapist? She works. Yeah. So all of the folks that go into the homes that work for the Birth to 3 organization. Yep. It's West Virginia Birth to 3 is what they're called. And Melanie Mungold.
And all sorts of development.
Yeah. A lot of folks work with them.
It just seems amazing.
Yeah.
3.5-year-old.
Yes.
Doctors tend to refer. So if there's a kid that has that is delayed that a doctor recognizes, they do a referral to Birth to 3, and then Birth to 3 goes into the home and serves. And then they basically refer to us if they think
Okay, so
they need to
there's a
start.
chain.
There's a chain. Yep, sure is.
Okay.
Good question.
Trying to catch the kids up,
Right.
if they can.
Right.
To help.
Yeah, for
Okay.
sure.
And those are what our pre-K teachers encounter then.
Yes, and all of your preschool teachers are special education certified here in the county as well. Because when they have the students with IEPs, they've got to do their, their documentation, their IEPs, all that stuff as well.
God bless them.
It's not easy.
So you said you didn't have a number. You have a ballpark number, how many students you have?
Oh,
Absolutely.
there are 17 in each classroom at MALC, but I believe we're losing one because the parents are disenrolling.
We have 2 rooms there.
And then the rest of the classrooms at MAS and East Hardy range from 18 to 20 in each classroom.
So we have 3 classes at Moorefield
3,
and 2 at East Hardy
yes,
and 2 at MELC.
yes.
About 100 kids then.
No, it'd be.
One
more-
We can have a maximum of
That's
100.
really right.
Because it's
Yeah,
it's
so
a
7,
kid per
yeah.
classroom,
Yeah.
but
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, yeah.
They enroll, I mean, they'll turn 4 and or
Sure.
whatever, they enroll at various sundry times. It's not all about makeup.
Okay, thanks.
That's preschool. That's nice.
All right.
You're welcome.
It's, you're talking about everything that the kids have to learn. It's truly amazing, with the pre-K kids, which I didn't really appreciate until I had grandchildren. And they're going, to a daycare type of thing. And those kids, the teachers can tell who's been to daycare and who hasn't, because they understand the concept of standing in a line, of raising your hand, of sitting down and sitting in the chair and staying in the chair. And
I know Mr. Armitage is a big proponent of, he always wants to do a kinder camp, and that is basically to catch the kids who did not come to preschool to do a 1 week or 2 week, as much as we can afford, which is limited kinder camp to do a little introduction, because it
so
makes a difference.
it's amazing, all the things that they have to know.
Thanks.
I am in the chair now.
You're one they wanted to tie down, were you? Put super glue in the chair. Okay, did we have any public comments? Okay. So moving on to the consent items.
Motion to approve the consent items as presented.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve the consent items. Is there any discussion? Okay, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed, and they're approved 5-0. Under unfinished business, the financial updates. So we need Sarah.
On the expenditure by object report that we always go over, I'm sure you guys saw there's budget journal entries again. So financials complete, certified list complete. I spent the last week trying to get everything away from working in 2 years and moved up. So you'll probably see several more budget journal entries coming over the next month at the next meeting while everything gets brought forward and rolled into the new year. And just if you're paying attention to the bank balance on the reconciliation, I think remember that we're making payments on the HVAC here. So sometimes it has dipped a little low. But that's when we've made a large payment and then we draw down that request back from the SBA so some of that has been hitting with some of those large payments. As far as the expenditure by object, the encumbrances for payroll, I did encumbering the payroll for the current year's due by the end of October. I did that the first part of October, but that's not going to show until you actually get October's report. So it's still not showing any encumbrances for payroll there. But if you look at through the payroll, the object 100s, 200s, 300s, comparing it to the prior year. Remember prior year, we still had ESSER funding through September 30th. So some of those payroll expenses were over in the ESSER funding. So even though we have less employees this year, it's going to show a little bit more at the current time because of some of that was moved over there. As far as the other expenditures, they're pretty much on par from last year. Some of the software and the virtual has been paid earlier as compared to last year, a month earlier than last year, which is some differences there. But overall, it's pretty much on par from where we are.
Where are we with the 500,000 that we owe on the SBA project? Have we already expended that?
We've made,
All of
not all of it. So each time we do that, when we draw it down, they meet their percent and we cover the other percent. So it's not like a whole lump sum at one time. Each drawdown separates out. And I can break that down and get you what we've done so far. I just don't have it on the top of my head.
Budget retreat?
Yeah, we can do that budget.
Yeah, because they used to make us pay our part first.
Okay. Yeah, I don't
And-
know, but yeah, they do a nice little calculation each, well,
Okay,
of what percent is whose, and
okay, good.
they just draw it down that way. Anyone have any other questions about anything?
Thank
Good.
Okay. No, we don't need to vote on any of that. The next thing is the approval of student activities and organizations policy JGA, which is attachment 7. We sent it out for first reading at the last meeting.
Move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second on the floor to approve this. Is there any discussion? All right, all those in favor? Opposed? And the policy JGA is approved by vote. Now we move on to new business. First thing on new business is approval of prepackaged meal vendor for the 21st CCLC grant.
And we didn't have anyone bid on that, so there's no approval necessary. We can now, there are several that provide it. So since no one actually took the time to bid, we can just explore and try to get a good rate on that, which is what we'll do. Emily's working on it.
Okay.
Do you have anything else to add to that? Oh, she's here. Sorry. You want to add anything to it?
No, I have reached out to the same vendor we use for our summer food boxes because we worked well with them. The issues were shipping directly to the students' houses, which we obviously have to do for that. And so I'm working with them to get that up and running as quickly as possible.
Who do we currently have now?
Multitude Foods is who I'm going to be working with to get that rolling.
Thank you.
So the kids are getting fed then?
Yes, we are feeding them.
Yes.
Okay.
So we don't need to approve because there's no bid.
Nope.
So, next up is approval of energy savings contract with ESG.
And before you all get to a vote on that, I do think it would be a good idea to go into executive session just for attorney-client privilege communications, just to give you my recommendation and some of the.
Motion to go to executive session. Sorry.
Have a motion and a second to go into executive session concerning the ESG contract. Words of wisdom from our attorney. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And we're in executive session at 5:53.
All right, there we go. Back on the camera. I'm on.
Did you for each slice donuts, or you sell them in
We're good.
Okay, so we're back on. If someone wants to make a motion for us to come out.
Motion to come out of executive session.
Have a motion and a second to come out of executive session with no action taken at 6:10. All those in favor? Aye. And we're out of executive session. So, our task at hand is, the energy savings contract with ESG.
I move we approve the contract.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the contract. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? And it's approved 5-0.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Can't see your face. Okay, good deal. All right.
Okay, next up is the critical need shortage on substitute teachers. Looks like that the only thing that was changed is that very last paragraph. As well, there was some stuff in the second paragraph too.
I think it's just the year and the.
Yeah, and math isn't critical need anymore.
Right.
Science is.
Right.
Okay. We have a motion.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve the critical need, for first reading. Okay. All those in favor? Aye. So it's approved. Next up is board members, superintendent discussion, no action may be taken.
I just had an update, a response to some unfounded community concerns that were brought to my attention, and I'd just like to address the board briefly on that. We had an issue where bus 59 did not run part of their shift, which ended up being because we had a substitute driver that did not show up for his run. When Irena had gotten the message, she immediately sent a call out that said something along the lines of there were mechanical issues. Later clarifying, finding out that it was actually that the driver didn't show up. She just knew that the bus didn't run. So I just wanted to state that when she sent that message out to parents to let them know immediately, her goal was just getting info to them that the bus was going to be running behind or delayed, not in any way intentional to misinform or there's no benefit from us one way or the other saying one happened versus the other. And the other drivers quickly jumped in and were able to get all those kids delivered home. So we appreciate that. There were some concerns and questions about Josh C. and his CDLs and a concern that the school system had paid for that. If you guys recall, when Josh was hired, one of the requirements of the director of transportation and facilities was that he get his CDLs so that he could run as needed. And he has done that many, many times last year. And he's also transported buses back and forth a couple of times this year to downed drivers as well. So I just wanted to clarify the reasoning behind that. A concern about East Hardy Elementary School, and it was stated that there were 30 lights that were out at East Hardy Elementary. It's actually, there were 16 lights that were out of a little over 700. And the reason behind that is because, not the light bulbs themselves, but the ballasts. And the reason behind that is our electrician had been out for an extended period of time, as you guys are aware. Once he has returned, he went to desk duty and now on to light duty, and now back, I believe, today to official full capacity. So now that he is back in working, those electrical work orders are being tackled. But you guys have seen those on the work order list. They had piled up. So they were relatively significant countywide, but we are getting those taken care of. There were toilets that were out at East Hardy Elementary School. And on Friday, October the 3rd, an email was sent over to Josh regarding toilets leaking. And that's all a response or all a reaction related to the water line we had closed down that we repaired. We shut that line down and put the new line in at East Hardy Elementary. When we did that and turned the water back on, we had several toilets that were leaking. That was October the 3rd. A call and an email was sent. Josh actually sent one of his guys over to shut the water down for the weekend, and then they were back on the 6th that morning to check it out. That, I believe, was the official work order, was the 6th of October. Those toilets were all up and running by the 13th of October. Parts in that were on delay. We had some vendor issues. We had vendor issues. One wouldn't do the packet and the other one couldn't get the parts, but we had those within 10 days, a week to 10 days. So I just wanted to clarify, if you heard concerns about there being an extended period of time with the toilets not working, 10 days max was the issue. And part of that was a weekend. Lloyd Kessner is our contract through Epic, as you guys know, who is our HVAC preventative maintenance contractor. He works for Eastern Panhandle Instructional Cooperative, which we contract with. We do pay that salary through them as part of the along with other salaries that we pay. They are the ones that employ him, and then we pay them. He works 3.5 hours a day at $50 an hour for 220 days per year, which averages around $38,500. There was some concerns and questions about total salary that he was making, which was larger than that amount. So I just wanted to clarify that that is how he is paid and what he works. He does the preventative maintenance. Since he's worked preventative maintenance on our facilities, we have received a rating of meets standard each year in facilities on that equipment, and that's audited every year through the Department of Ed. So just so you're clear that we don't have any issues there. And as always, to you guys, of course, which know this, and to the public, anyone that has any concerns, I have a pretty well open door policy. If you swing by and I'm busy and can't get to you, I try to make appointments with folks as quickly as possible. I take phone calls, emails, and I'll get back to anybody that has any questions. My goal is for facts and information to be out and to be accurate with the public. We have no secrets. I mean, we'll tell you what's going on. So if you hear of anybody that has any concerns or complaints, please encourage them to reach out. And along with me, all my directors work hard to make sure that information gets out too. So if they want to speak directly to somebody else, we'll make that happen. But I have had 0 phone calls regarding any of the concerns that I just spoke with you about. 0. So just wanted to update you. And that's all I have.
Okay.
You're welcome.
I passed out this fact sheet from Oakwood Solar. They requested that we meet with them.
December 1st.
Last week, I guess it was.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And they were talking about the project. They wanted to keep us up. And of course, some of their project is if they pay taxes, make a payment in lieu of taxes. If they're county taxes, like they don't have to pay them. Some of that money comes to the school, basically by the same as the formula, whatever normally we would get. And then another way that money can come is if they don't do the pilot project, that they have a community fund grant.
Mm-hmm.
And like they'll have a community project. Say like if we wanted something in particular, like a new gym or something like that, then they would supply funds over the life of their project to help to pay for that sort of thing. Or if the community, say, wanted a theater or that type of thing, then the community funds could go to that. So they were just explaining about that, and in this information it shows where all those panels are going to be located. And you all probably saw in Facebook where they had the tax maps and were showing who owned the land and who all it was leased from, that they'll be using. So we don't need any action. This is just an information only thing. I've got no dog in this hunt, so
Our role will come, I think, when we have to work with the other parties involved to agree upon a financial structure. If everything is passed and approved, then we'll have a role to be a party to agreeing or disagreeing or negotiating essentially how we're willing to accept our tax dollars,
right.
which won't come for a while. But they do want to be on the agenda for the December 1st to present to the whole board to give you an update as to what their process is.
Okay. The only other thing that I had was that I know that Josh had said that there's 2 buses we have that they're having an awful lot of trouble with. Is it 50? I don't know the numbers. Melvin probably knows what they are, what the 2 numbers are.
55 was one, that's the one I remember.
Okay. It seemed like there were 2 we got at the same time. Maybe it's 55 and 56. I don't know, but they have something that's different on them. Is there such a thing as a lemon law on, in West Virginia, we have a lemon law. And if
We've
that
probably
if that bus is no
exceeded
good, if you
the
get a
miles.
vehicle and it's broken all the time, they have to replace it.
I think we have too many miles on them already for that to be a consideration. I think that has to happen within like the first 10,000 miles or something along those lines, and we're up to too many miles, I think, for the lemon law. I believe. Mr. Staggers, do you have any lemon law experience?
I do not, but I'll look into it.
Okay, thank you.
It would be interesting. What did you say?
It's very difficult to apply that in the law, even if any instrument can do whatever.
Oh, yeah.
I have 2.
They're also under warranty.
I had a Mercedes.
All this stuff has been replaced in warranties.
Okay.
That piece at least is good.
Yeah.
But we're not talking about, we discussed that.
Mm-hmm. I'm not for sure. I don't want to, but
however. So, but I'm glad that we can do that.
we did get a quote I saw on the, because he copied me on the email where he sent it to you, on the handicap bus. I know he did have that already. So we just need to probably decide which ones were. Yeah, I think he'll bring it. We can just make sure he brings it to the board when he's at the meeting. Yeah, next meeting. But I think we should have all of our quotes now and decide.
Have we got our student count for the year yet?
Yes, 2,135.
That's the official number.
Yes,
That's the magic day.
2,130 or 2,135. Yeah, because it's exactly 30 kids down from. Hold on. 2,100. Last year it was 85. Maybe I'm down 55. Okay, 2,155 because I think it was 85 last year. We're 30 down. I'm sorry. I would have probably, if I'd eaten lunch and it wasn't 6:30, I'd probably remember. But let me get it to you tomorrow to be for sure. But we're down exactly 30 kids. Yeah, which is not nearly as bad as.
That big graduating class.
Yeah.
right there.
That was.
30-some students,
Mm-hmm.
which is very unusual.
Yeah, not too bad.
Maybe this winter they're saying we're getting all sorts of snow. Maybe we'll have lots of babies with snow.
Public service announcement.
We had flood babies.
I remember.
And,
I remember.
Yeah, we have to entertain ourselves. Okay. Does anybody have anything else for board member superintendent discussion?
I do. I'm sorry. Let me give this out to you just so you have it. There's no discussion, but this is a school levy talking point. points. I shared this with principals. They have this just as a reference. This is, honest to goodness, just a typed up list of all the things we would write on Sarah's bulletin board when we had something we needed that we couldn't afford. There's no rhyme or reason to it. Don't read too much into it. Some of it might not even make sense. And please don't share it with people and tell them anything yet, because we need to, it's just a random list of things as a general starting point for us to narrow down, get specific on, and really talk about if we're considering a levy. And we meet with principals to kind of get their input on Wednesday. Our plan, just so you guys know then, would be to kind of narrow down, figure out what it is we'd be looking at, and then bring it to you all so that you can look at it, narrow down, add to, take away, and either yay it or nay it. And we wouldn't do anything more until you all did that. But I just wanted you to know as a board that these are random thoughts that we have collected. So you know what we know at this point. And that is everything I had.
Future agenda items. Okay, so we move on to announcements. Our next board meeting is November 3rd at 5 o'clock at the Board of Ed office. And on November 20th, we meet our financial workshop at Warden Lake beginning at 8:30.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, what about the second meeting in November? I heard Audra make reference to that in something that we needed. Are we going to have that meeting?
So I talked to Sean about that and we looked at the schedule. We typically had canceled that because it was the week of Thanksgiving. It is not the week of Thanksgiving this year. That's going to be up to you all if you want to leave it on the schedule or if you would like to cancel it that week.
Will it be the 17th?
Two meetings that week.
But with them trying to meet things, I think that honestly that we need to have it to be able to meet our goal to get everything going by the 15th of December.
And the other thing you could do, which is a maybe unpopular opinion, and that you could always put it on your budget retreat agenda as action items, because you can make that a meeting and do it there too. Now it will be out of town, but we have to air it live anyway, right? It'll be on the air and would be a real meeting. Yeah, and we just have to let folks know it's a different time of day and it's a different location, but you can do that. And you might get people from Wardensville that work evening shift that can attend a day meeting that is a different crowd altogether. You have to post it as a different date and time, yes.
So that's when we're going to be talking about the financial piece.
What? Oh, I don't remember. It's approving the financial contract, the leasing, right? Is that what's on that meeting? I don't remember without looking at the sheet.
Is it okay if I start?
Oh, yeah, please.
So basically, what'll happen is you'll get financing proposals. Then Sarah will work with the staff to determine what proposal she's going to accept, thinks the best cost of money. Bring that to the board to accept. And then they will, that's one board meeting. The next board meeting, they will do a financing resolution. And that's when Tom Piercy would most likely come and make his presentation. And you guys would vote on the resolution for finance.
Is that the second meeting
That's
in?
the second meeting.
Okay.
But there's nothing set in stone on those dates.
December 1st, I think. Wasn't that
No,
one?
December 1st is closing financing. That's when the money
Yeah.
goes in the bank.
So this one would be, if we moved it to 8:30 in the morning at an off-site location, that would be inconvenient for you guys.
No, I mean, I don't know where it is. I see it would be that's a Tom Piercy question, really.
Okay.
So, what we need to do is really just have a conference call and
Okay.
see if that would be okay.
Okay, so can we
Yeah.
discuss it at the next meeting then? Would that be fair? The first
Yeah.
November meeting with you guys? Make a decision at that
I think
point?
it'd be on the agenda at noon or something.
That's true. It wouldn't have to be 8:30. That's true. It could be an afternoon. It's just off the beaten path. We'll just have to get him
Right,
directions
right.
to it, but wouldn't have to be. That's
They
true.
can meet there.
Where does he come from?
You can be there at 1.
That's true. That's true. I didn't think about the time
She's
thing. That's
coming
right.
from Charleston.
Yeah, okay.
Is it in Hardee County?
It's in Hardee County. It's in Wardensville.
Big lake, you can't miss it.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
She travels all over. She's not gonna care about that part, but okay. All right, we can do that.
Yeah, you stay in the corridor of Woodsville.
Okay.
Sausage and gravy, right?
Yeah, sausage and gravy for breakfast and lasagna for lunch with extra garlic. just for you.
Well, let's see there.
It's his favorite. That's right.
Bring your session,
Okay.
Paul.
So we'll have to decide then November 3rd, but if it's gonna conflict or if it's gonna mess up with us getting everything going on the time schedule, I mean, we can go ahead and have a separate meeting if we have to. I mean, if we can combine, that's good.
I'll tell her, I'll get her an address and she can kind of scope it out and make sure all is well. And
Okay.
I don't think it'll be an issue.
Yeah. Okay, now, so we're down now to mission statements and accomplishments. I saw where East Party won the party ball and, which is good, I suppose. One team had to win.
That's right.
So it wasn't Moorefield's year, and I understand that your son had a good game.
Thank you.
So-
Yes, he did.
So
Proud of him.
that's positive. And East Party girls won the volleyball region.
PVC championship. Yep.
Okay,
Potomac Valley Conference.
hats off to them.
Mrs. Thorne left. I want to tell her I've been hearing some good comments on her hot breakfasts and lunch, and looking forward to visiting the school so we can try it.
Awesome. Yeah, I'll tell her.
If you would pass that along.
Absolutely. She'll be happy about that.
Mrs. King is having Veterans Day concerts at Moorefield Middle and Moorefield Intermediate. And I know it's the 6th and 7th, but I forget at which school it is being held on which day, but those are always nice. The veterans come, they are honored by the students, and
Yeah,
I
that's,
think they appreciate it. So I know it's the 6th and 7th. I don't know which school, which day. I'm thinking it's middle school first and then intermediate, which means probably the other way around.
Maybe if you can find out those times, that'd be good for you.
Right.
Can do that.
are we invited to those?
Oh, yes,
Maybe open to the
yes.
public.
Open to the public, but yes, she appreciates us being there. The kids work hard. And it's totally student stuff. Students doing the singing, the poems, everything.
So you'll let us know.
Yep, I made a note to find out for sure the specifics, and I'll get the details for you.
I thought I had it written, but I don't.
That's okay. Yep, we'll ask.
Okay, next we move on to personnel. Anything requiring executive session? Okay.
So, Fanny, I will point out, number 11 is actually supposed to be another heading.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
It's just, they got lumped into the.
Thank you.
The numbers.
Thank you. Okay. All right, I'll recommend the approval of the service personnel hiring for Homer Nick Barb, substitute bus operator, countywide. Service personnel part-time temporary hiring, Patricia Stahl, performance test examiner for the secretary and clerk for the central office, and Stephen Jake Simon is the performance test examiner for the general maintenance and custodial for central office. Both of those are replacing the test that used to be taken up South Branch. Those folks will just be giving that test here. I recommend the approval of extra pay for supervisory aides for Amanda Brill at MIS, Nicole Cook-Tusing at MIS, Teresa Myers, MIS, Heather Hours, MIS, Kelsey Roberts, MIS, Sunja Salyers, MIS, Ashley Seitz, MIS. I recommend the approval of the professional personnel extracurricular hirings for Amber Shockey as a substitute teacher for the 21st Century Grant After School Program, Deanna Shirk, substitute teacher for this 21st Century After School Program. Tyler Mungold is a class sponsor for the MHS Junior class. Linda Wright is a class sponsor for the MHS Junior class. Melissa Riggleman, class sponsor for the senior class at Moorefield High School. I recommend the approval of Lawrence Schoonover for the coach for wrestling at Moorefield High School. Volunteers approved, Marsha Fisher, volunteer for Moorefield High School. Approval of the following resignations. Diana Lipscomb, Autism Mentor, East Hardy High, effective June 30th for retirement. Deja McCain, substitute cook countywide, effective October 10th. Melinda Cook, cook 2 at Moorefield Elementary School, effective October 7th. Ethan Judy, long-term substitute for gifted, halftime countywide, effective October 31st. And Nancy Klein, cafeteria manager, cook 3, East Hardy High, effective June 30th due to retirement.
Move to approve.
Have a motion and a second on the floor to approve the, recommended personnel actions from Dr. Van Meter. I think we should refuse number 22.
I know, it's sad.
Number
Nancy.
23. Oh, that's 20.
Yeah,
23.
she'd be less one though, because that one hearing.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Anyway, we're gonna miss her,
Yeah, for sure.
so, anyway. All those in favor of personnel actions? Opposed? And they're approved 5-0.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
South Branch stuff I forgot to pass out.
Oh, thanks. Your dog's
Yeah.
in here.
5-0. Are we 5-0?
Yes.
Done? All right. What time did we adjourn? 6:36? Okay.